Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. On my desk in front of me, I've got some photos here of a fun strawberry picking session that I really wanted to scrapbook, and I thought I would film my layout today coming together because I actually want to create some of my own strawberry embellishments. Recently, I've been working really hard on using up some of my stash that I have on hand. Sometimes you just get left with bits of paper here and there from various Creative Memories collection, and I think it's really important to still really try hard to use those papers. I've taken my photos today and I went through my stash and I've actually selected papers that I think will work well with the colors of my photos, so everything will coordinate nicely. I've got 3 different paper collections, which I'll get to in a moment, but I've also pulled out some embellishments from the Painted Garden collection, which is a new collection from Creative Memories. It released a short time ago, but it had these really cute strawberry embellishments and a little caterpillar, and I thought they would work really well with my layout today. Now, as I mentioned, I have got 3 different paper collections. I'm actually going to be working with the Vivid Melodies collection, and I just had some leftover border stickers and I really liked these shades of green paper. I thought it worked well with my photo, the lighter and the darker. I also have this pink paper. It's actually the same paper, but I like both sides of it. This is from the Botanical Burst collection. And then this spotted red paper, which I love. This is a real throwback to Magic Awaits. If you wanted to create a layout similar to what I'm working with today, then I encourage you to use, whatever paper collection you like. I know some of our recent releases from Creative Memories would work well for a layout like this, but today I just wanted to work with some of my stash. Now, I've also got my gemstone cutting template and my red and blue blade. I've also got my spring leaf punch. This is no longer available, but you could use any punch that features leaves that you have on hand. You could even freehand cut them. I've also got my beloved circle punch and my piece by piece punch set. These are still available. Now, I've also got some cardstock here on my desk that I'm going to work with. I've got some of the canary and white cardstock, and I've also got some of the Firecracker Shimmer solid cardstock. This would probably be my most favorite shade of red cardstock from Creative Memories. I love it. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up there, but you can sort of see it's got that lovely shimmer or glitter to it. I think it's the most perfect shade of red, and again, it worked really well with my photos. Now, I'm just going to remove the center of my cardstock. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's something that I have demonstrated in many of my past videos. So I'm just going to very quickly remove the center, and I'm just leaving an inch wide frame around the outside. You can keep rotating that. The good thing with the Creative Memories trimmer, it doesn't cut until you press down on that blade. So this is a very simple technique to master, and as I said, it helps you conserve your paper supply. So we're only going to see just the smallest amount of this. Okay, so I've removed the center and I'm left with just that 1 inch wide frame, and I can sit that aside just for the moment. I'm going to bring in my white cardstock, and I just want to trim it down to 11.75 by 11.75. Like so. So we're just removing, that 1/4 of an inch. It's not a lot. So 11.75. Okay, so we can bring back in our frame and just get that nice and square on the cutting mat so that we can line up our white cardstock evenly. When you're happy, you can bring in that white cardstock, and you just want to make sure with the measurement that you've cut it, that you've got a even 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So I'm actually just going to add a little bit of repositionable tape on the inside of my frame. Like so, just making sure that I don't bump that out of its alignment there. And then we can come in and just stick our white cardstock directly over the top. So now I can come in with my pink paper and cut this down to fit our page. So this was a scrap of paper, and I'm just going from the widest measurement there. It's still sitting at 12 inches. So I want to cut it down to 11.5 inches. And I'd like to cut this down to 8 inches. So it's 11.5 inches by 8 inches. I'm just removing that small strip. Like so. And when that's adhered into place, we're going to have an 1/8 of an inch showing of that white cardstock around the top of the pink. Now I was thinking, I really love the reverse side of this paper with the pink check. You know how much I love my checks. We're just going to create a really simple border, and I'm going to use the Creative Memories Circle Punch. This is still available. Okay, so I've punched 4 circles using my circle punch, and I've just cut those circles in half. Now, being a directional print, I've made sure that my checks are all going the same way when I lined up my circles. But basically what I want to do, I'm going to start, I don't think these circles will fit evenly across my pink paper there, so I'm just going to line them up underneath, and I've sort of, I don't know if you can see, I want to be able to trim a little bit off that first circle because I know I'm going to have to do that off my last. I know that sounds like a really, you know, me being really fussy, but it just gives a neater finish because we're not going directly across the page. So I'm just going to slide them into position now, and you can see I've just worked it, so I've just got that little bit of overhang. So I'm just going to take my pencil and mark the outside of the pink paper there where I need to cut these 2 circles, and I'm just going to cut through the end. It's just the smallest amount that I've removed, but it's because our pink paper is not, we've cut it down from being a 12-inch width, it's 11.5 inches. So it's making sure we get a nice even finish on our circles. So I'm going to adhere this pink paper in place. And again, making sure we've got an 1/8 of an inch white border showing, like so. And then because we've trimmed our circles, we know that we can line that up underneath with those edges all nice and neat. And we're going to create a really nice, oh, that's very crooked. We're going to create a really nice little scallop border for the bottom of our page. Don't do what I do and have that really crooked. There we go, that's better. So I'm just sliding that in underneath my pink paper. All right, so we've got our scalloped edge in place, and as I said earlier, I've got these leftover stickers that I think I would like to use. I think I'm going to use this fun swirly pattern sticker. So I'll just get my Creative Memories ruler, and I just want to measure what the width approximately this sticker is, and it's almost very close to being, it's almost 3/4 of an inch. So what I think I'll do, I'm going to bring in this darker green paper from my Vivid Melodies collection. And what I'll do, I might actually use one of my decorative blades. Which one will we choose? Let's go with the decal. You all thought I was going to say scallop, didn't you? Because you all know how much I love scallop. So I'll just sit my layout out of the way. I'm going to use the decal, and I can pop that into the blade housing unit. And just to get things started, I'm just going to remove a very thin strip. It sort of gives a really nice torn effect, I guess you could say. And I'm going to cut this, let's say, let's go 7/8 of an inch. I'm pretty sure, because I just want to have that little bit of green showing. I don't want to overdo it. So that's given a really fun effect to those edges. There's lots of different blades that you can choose from to purchase for your 12-inch trimmer. I do recommend when you've finished using one of these little fashion blades that you put back in the straight blade, because I've been caught out many times. I'll go to do a straight cut and I've still got one of my decorative blades in the back. Okay, so we already know that we've cut this pink paper width to 11.5 inches wide, but with the green strip, I actually think I'm going to run it across the complete width of the page, so the 12 inches, and just have that overlapping for a fun effect. So I'm going to stick that down with my repo tape, and I'm just layering it so little of that scalloped edge will be seen that we created, like so. And then I can come in with this sticker, and it's got the pink and it's got the red. I think it's going to be a really good match for this page. And I can just add that like a little ribbon across my page, like so. And that's just created a really nice finish to the base of our page. So I'm really happy with how that's looking for now, and that's pretty well completed putting our base page together. So now we can work on our strawberry embellishments. So we'll set this to the side for now. I'm going to bring in this beautiful red polka dot paper that I have here. This is actually from the Sparks of Magic tone-on-tone paper pack, which is still available on the Creative Memories website. I just thought it was the perfect shade of red. I like that the polka dots would remind me of strawberry seeds, but I thought it was a great colour choice for my layout. And I'm going to bring in the gemstone cutting template, and I've got my red and my blue blade. Now I'm going to have one large strawberry, and I really don't need to cut a full gemstone pattern here. So what I'm doing is I'm just lining up the base of my paper to a random line on my cutting mat, and then I'm going to line up my gemstone cutting template to approximately halfway, and just with my red blade I'm going to cut on the inside track. Like so. And that's going to be the base of our first strawberry. Just switch out my blade now, and I just want to cut with the blue blade on the inside track. However, this time I am going to cut a full track. glue blade, like so. Okay, so we've got our strawberry bases. The gemstone pattern that we cut a full dimension of, I'm going to cut in half crossways. And that's going to give us 2 smaller strawberries. Now we of course need some leaves. And I thought I would go with this lighter green paper, which is in the Vivid Melodies paper pack. Again, I thought it was a really good match for my photo. And I'm going to bring in my spring leaf punch. I think I'll need probably 3 leaves for my large strawberry, and then perhaps 2 leaves for each of the smaller. So, okay, so I thought I would drape 3 of these leaves across the top of my large strawberry. And then I'm going to have 2 on my smaller. Now I know what you're thinking, you can see through the center of these leaves, so they're not really looking that authentic yet. So this is where I thought I would bring in my piece by piece punch set, because even in my photos, I'm not sure if you can see, one of my photos here, yes, you can see the tiny little white flowers that come up on the strawberry plant. So I thought, let's make, you know me and flowers, let's make some flowers. So I've got some of the canary cardstock and my white cardstock, and I thought this star flower in the piece by piece punch set is perfect for making little strawberry flowers. So I thought we can add some of these to our strawberry plants. And I thought it would be good, this is where my strawberry embellishments come in handy, because we can sort of, you know, layer some of these as well if we want to. So we could even, I've punched a heap of these flowers, we can layer them together on our little strawberries. Okay, so with all of my bits and pieces punched, ready to go, it's time to talk about photo placement on my layout. Now, as I mentioned, these photos, some of them have a lot of space that I feel can be trimmed down. There's a lot of greenery there, like even my little basket photo there. There's a lot I think that could be trimmed down. So whenever I'm stuck for what photo sizes I should use, I've actually made myself just some little templates out of cardstock, and I've put the size of them just with my label maker on the corner there, and it just helps me envision or see how these photos will look once they're in place. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to keep a 6x4 photo, and then have 2 4x4, and then a very cute 3x3, which I thought could be my little strawberry basket that we saw. And I like to be able to just position them on my layout and just see how it's all going to work. And that way when I'm happy, then I can cut my photo mats to size. So these sizes that I've used is actually going to be the size of my photo mats. So 6x4, 4x4 and 3x3, and then my photos will be trimmed down just that little bit smaller as well. So I'm going to use, looking at it all laid out on my page there now, I think I'm going to use the offcut of our frame that we removed with the Firecracker shimmer paper. Okay, so I've cut a 6x4, so now I need a 4x4, and we're going to have enough for our photo mats from that square we removed from our frame. Just a little bit off that. That's one 4x4, and then I need another 4x4. And then we need a 3x3. Okay, so there's our photo mats. So now I know I can trim my photos down. I'm going to use the photo of the two together for my 6x4. So to ensure that I've got a nice little even frame around my photo, I'm going to cut it down to 5.75 by 3.75. So we're just removing that small amount from our photo. So for the 4x4 photo mats, I need to cut my photos down to 3.75 by 3.75. And you can see we're just removing all that greenery that I had in my photo. So that's one. And then my second little one here, again down to 3.75 by 3.75. And then my final photo, this will be the 3x3, and I really just want to capture, you know, the little basket. So we know that I need to cut this down to, if the photo mat is 3x3, then my photo needs to be cut down to 2.75 by 2.75, which is a fairly small size, but for a little photo like this, where it's just the basket, I think it will work perfectly. So I'm just going to remove a little bit off the bottom. So the focus of the subject matter is the full basket of yummy strawberries. I'm actually going to remove, we can remove a little bit more because I sort of want to have her hands showing in the photo. So that's better. Okay, so we can stick these photos to our mats. All right, so with my photos now adhered to the photo mats, you can see how different they all look, having that nice little frame all the way around them. Even my little basket photo, I think that smaller size looks really sweet. So all that I need to do now is where I had placed my templates to see how I liked everything, I just need to remove them one by one, and I can replace them with a photo, and it makes the process so much simpler. I know I can spend so much time just trying to figure out my photo placement, so that's why I thought it would be good to cut my own little templates, just so that, you know, you can work and see how it's going to look before you go sticking anything down. So I've got a 4x4 photo. Now this little guy is sort of looking across to the side, little Max. So I think I'll place him there, and then Layla can go up the top, and they're sort of all overlapping each other. So that one to the top, and then Max here to the side. Like so. And then I've got the little basket photo. I love that little photo. I'm going to overlap there at the base. They look fun. Now, as I said to you at the start of my video, I've got some of these really cute strawberry embellishments left over from my painted garden collection. And I've also just gone through my stash and found some laser cut titles that I'd like to use. You could use alpha stickers or whatever you have on hand. You could use a cut file, whatever you like. So we can get these babies into place. So I'll start by sticking the base of my strawberries first, and I want these bottom ones to overlap a little, and it's good to see the size variance as well. And then we can stick our top one into place like so. All right, I want to just overhang that little strawberry a little bit there. Now the leaves are sort of facing down on a strawberry plant, so actually I might need to move that over a little. Very carefully, that's better. So just overlapping that a little bit. So now I could come in with my little flowers. I think I'm actually going to put these together before I add them to my page. So I'm going to use my precision point adhesive pen just because it's really easy for these smaller little areas that you need to stick, and it dries so quickly. So I'm just putting a little dab of glue there in the middle of a base flower, and I'm just overlapping two together for our little strawberry flowers, and then just a dab in the middle, and we can add the little canary yellow center that we punched. Okay, so we can get these little flowers stuck into place, and I'm actually going to use my small foam squares to do this, just to elevate them off the page a little bit, and you know, to give them that little bit of dimension. So, and just layering them all together. So they're looking good, however I do think they're going to need some stalks. So I'm just going to, on a bit of scrap of paper here, freehand cut some stalks for my strawberries. Nothing too fancy. Just cutting some little strips a few millimeters wide. And I'll tuck those down in behind my flowers there. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few more little embellishments up in my corner here. I've got some more strawberries and a very cute little caterpillar, another one, which I will add with some foam squares. As well as our little title. And then I've got Smile that I'll add to the base here. And I've also finished with my little caterpillar here. Alright, so to finish my layout, I've just added some journaling to the bottom right hand corner here. You could even add an extra small photo if you like. I think that would look really nice as well if you had an extra photo. You could handwrite your journaling. I don't like my handwriting, so I've just printed mine onto some photo safe paper. We had so much fun picking strawberries. Layla and Max ate more than they picked. But I'm super happy how those little strawberries have turned out, and that I've used some of my Creative Memories stash. Don't forget, if you liked this video and you enjoyed seeing the thought process and how my page came together, I'd appreciate it if you could give my video a thumbs up, because it really does help support my creative channel. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye.